To Saudi. Unfortunately, Khulud could not get accepted into college. However, as an ambitious person and talented person, she started working in improving her skills in designing video games to teach the kids their high school and their elementary school lessons. So she started tutoring students in her neighborhood, and she created business for herself. But her talent and her skills still kept captive within that very restricted sphere. How many Khulud or how many people like Khulud do we have in our society? How many talented people with a lot of passion, a lot of skills are existed in neighborhoods, in unprivileged places, in untapped locations that we are not aware of? We cannot identify that talent, rather than supporting these talents. Khulud was one of them. But this is Khulud today. She looks happy. Khulud, her talent got exposed to more than 1 million views, including experts from Google, including United Nations ambassadors of science, including many other experts. She owns a project called Ajyal. Her project, with a huge dream of transforming the typical way of education, the boring way of spoon-feeding the students and the kids, into a very interesting educational process of video gaming. Now she has a meaning, she has a vision, a mission in this life to serve and transform and to make education more exciting, more fun for the next generation, to increase the passion for education and knowledge. So she got also $15,000 as a seed fund. She is now working with an accelerator in education and IT to get the second round investment, and she got exposed to the rest of the society. She is now out of her restricted area and domain. All of this happened in less than a month. But how did that happen? This is what I'm trying to explain through my presentation, and this is TAM. So in TAM, our mission is about solving 3 main questions. The first question is, how can we make our local issue very attractive economically and socially for the local talents? On the other hand, how can we engage the local talents to solve and to be part of the solution of their existing local issues? And thirdly, how can we make the rest of the society as supporters and as witnesses of this talented project? So these are the 3 questions that drives our mission and our goal in TAM. We believe the answer for this is challenges, competitions, awards, contests. Contest is something very attractive, attract the youth, attract the talents to come and solve a problem. However, the way you construct the challenge or the contest is a very interesting process and difficult process at the same time. If we go out in the street and walk down the street, you see a lot of problems. When you start thinking about how can I solve this, you kind of get paralyzed. You see a lot of things interconnected, you don't know from where to start. So as a first point, we identify a very specific problem, and then we turn that problem into attractive contest or awards, which brings talents from different locations, along with providing them with a platform to set ideas or projects to solve these problems. So to do that, we do 4 activities. First of all, Identifying the concept of the competition. We consult subject matter experts who really know what the local problems are. Then we take that very theoretical explanation and we turn it into a very practical competition or challenge for the talents to tackle. So second, we engage the right ecosystem from government, from the society, from the media, and every other parties to be part of this. So it becomes very attractive. Then we provide the platform. We have a specified platform, which is stamhub.com, for competition, to host the competition and to allow people to send any kind of actions to solve their problem. Third, we engage the society. So we enable everyone in the society, four categories: novice, those who doesn't have an idea what's going on, they come and follow or vote. Second, people, problem solver, they can post a picture, they can post a simple thing. Third, the professional, the expert, they can post a project, complicated thing. And fourth, the masters, they come as nominators or as juries and judges. So we engage the whole society around this concept. So this is the value model. Move on. So this is Khulud. She's smiling. She got awarded to the Minister of Education in Saudi Arabia. And what happened is we created a competition that solved this question. So the problem was children are less passionate about education and knowledge. We transformed the question into a competition called Ihsan Edu Competition. And we made the question, how can we make children more passionate about education? Now we brought the right parties from accelerator, incubators, and the government. After that, we provide a platform. We got the society engaged, more than 40,000 votes. We received more than 5 million reach, and we received more than 2,600 ideas to solve this problem, along with 120 projects. Right now, we have 3 other projects. So far, in less than a year, we received more than 11,000 submissions. We have more than 5 million views and 50,000 votes from the society, all engaged around strategic issues. So our dream, before I close, is to provide an opportunity for every single talent and skill in our society to have an access to be part of something, to be part of the solution, to be part of solving our local issue through online contests in different teams. Thank you for listening.
That was stamhub.com from Saudi Arabia. Questions from the jurors first?
Okay, so you have a problem, you have a solution. How do you really get it going? I mean, you will have to have one or another incentive in order to get it really going.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit more about that?
So you mean how can we make sure that the projects are still going?
Well, I mean, if you put $1 million on
Yes.
it, I mean, people will send in 25,000 solutions.
Yes.
But, you know, how do you do that?
So basically, you're talking about creating the incentive for the society, right? So creating the incentive for the society, there are 4 things that people are trying to get. One of them is not, money comes the least. So one of them, especially in Saudi Arabia, you're talking about status. So I want to gain a status in the society, within my communities and within the people that I live with. That status will give me access to money, to fund, to mentors, to network, to projects, to business, to a lot of things. So competition allow you to be the winner, as is happening today in this event. Being a winner, that is a status that allow you to get a lot of opportunities within your society. So that's
So my question is related to the incentives you mentioned, but also this wisdom of the crowd. So you are gathering everything what is available and any good ideas from the society, and you bring also stakeholders together. And so my question is how to select the best issue from thousands, and then how to get support for this issue in order to concretely solve an issue that was posed with a contest or proposed.
I come from the last part. So we are not trying to solve completely the problem. That is not a promise. What we're trying to do is to build a habit of thinking about solving problems instead of talking and criticizing. So when people send projects and ideas, some of the big projects, they need an integrated full solution that involves government spending and policy making and a lot of things. But here, we try to tell the society you can do something actually that minimize the size of the problem. So in defining the problem, the first part, what we do, two things. First of all, there are a lot of international consulting companies that comes to different places. They conduct a lot of research and studies, and they end up with a report that goes in the drawer and no one knows about it. So what we do is, first we study these reports and try to identify the trends and what this company, Booz & Company or McKinsey or other companies reach. The second part is we consult local experts, subject matter experts, who spend their entire life trying to understand what's wrong with this field. So combining these two together, along with focus group of people, of young people in that area, whether they're the people who are working within that sphere or different stakeholders, and then we identify the main trend.
Yeah, but how do you get experts involved?
How we get experts involved. So one of it is being a judge in the competition that gives you a privilege. And also the other thing is we never faced any problem with the experts to be involved. They always love to share. They always love to see their thoughts implemented and impacting the society.
Good project and great presentation. Just my question, what's your marketing plan on this? Like, how did you guys, I've seen you mentioned that you have over a million views and 100,000 projects. How did you reach that many people, and what was the marketing involved in your project?
So good question. Celebrities of social media. And getting celebrity of social media allow them first to be the first to know about the competition, and the second, naming the competition under the name of or the brand of any one of those celebrities. For example, in Ahsan Edu competition, it was named under the brand of Ahmed Shagari. Ahmed Shagari has 4.5 million followers in Twitter. He owns the most viewed TV show in the Arab region in Ramadan. He is a very well-known name. So naming that competition under his name allowed us to get all the media support to push the competition. So that's one of the strategies we use.
Well, do you think there'll be? I understand that you provide recognition, and that's usually reward enough for people that are contesting. But do you foresee opportunities where maybe it's a social issue that maybe people want to move it forward even more beyond what can be had from the competition, and want to maybe be able to fund it? I was thinking that some of these things could be you're in a good position to have, let's say, a crowdfunding platform where you can raise funds for a social issue that now it has recognition. Now you can use your platform to leverage that and say, okay, and generate interest from the general public.
It's a very interesting idea. The problem with crowdfunding is the infrastructure. So in the Gulf region, especially in Saudi, people are not that involved with credit card payments. And in crowdfunding, you have to, out of 10, there's only one who owns a credit card. That's a big issue. And then if you want to move it to mobile payment, there's a problem with payments where 50% of that transaction will be going to the service provider and different places. So there's no incentive for people actually to donate or to participate. And if they have the credit card, it's a very limited number. It's a very interesting idea. It's a very good idea. We're waiting just for the infrastructure to catch up, and then we'll.
This is locally in Saudi Arabia. Do you have any kind of plans to have it done also for other countries?
Hosting. It's not our competition. We are a service provider for it. It's called Arab Mobile Competition. It includes 5 countries: Bahrain, Jordan, UAE, Qatar, and 3 other countries. So the platform is not only restricted to Saudi. We have a plan next year to go to the Arab region and to make this educational competition for the Arab region in 5 or 6 countries, and to expand from there to cover more regional areas.
We have
the hard part of it is to build the ecosystem. That's the difficulty.
Saudi Arabia citizen engagement models to crowdsourcing.
We are a pretty small NGO in pretty small country, but we have really, really big impacts, which you're going to find out later on. So to understand the levels we are moving within the project, so we are talking about e-inclusion. We have the cartoons for preschool children, which we consider they should be included more within the society. We have the versions for the blind and visually impaired children, for the deaf children, and also for national minorities, which are pretty often seen in Slovakia and I do believe in many other countries. Another level, we are moving within informal education the other children. We have the competitions. Annually we have involved more than 20,000 people in Slovakia. And we have also online tools, offline tools, and really big events. Regarding the dissemination, we have lots of channels which you're gonna later see. We are also dealing with survey and the research works, as we really want to know the impacts. We really know to know the results. We really need to know the numbers, people's involved, people influenced. This is what it's all about. And moreover, we are not just a national project. We are running more than 6 years, and we have shared and translated and dubbed the stories, not just within the Europe, but also around the globe. Recently, we have brought the sheep life cartoons to Asia, to China, and also we've been in Africa and Tunisia. So just briefly regarding the collaboration with Ministry of Education, we are really glad that they are using the sheep life materials, online, also offline, as official education tools for teachers within primary education, which we consider really important. And also another goal we want to reach is not just quantitative but also qualitative change within the themes and the number of lessons taught within the elementary or primary education. It is just a pretty easy overview of the numbers dedicated to the modern technology issues, becoming from 6 to 28. Regarding the online tools, we have produced and developed 650 tools with more than 2 million downloads within the last 2 years. Just for your imagination, Slovakia has just 5 million people and the number of children is 1 million. So altogether within the 6 years, it's more than 6.5 million downloads within the project. We have interactive quizzes, guidebooks, ebooks, online educative games, and wallpapers, comics, coloring books, posters, screensavers. Things just complementing the project as a whole. And within the Sheep Life View page, web page, we have more than 5.5 million views. Regarding the offline tools, we have disseminated almost, as you can see, 289,000 copies within the last 2 years, and since the start or the launch of the project, it's more than 1 million. We have disseminated within these 2 years more than 11,000 copies of DVDs, more than 100,000 of handbooks. We have recently brought the Sheep Life Version book accompanied by the DVD and the book which you can see on the tables of you. We have the workbooks, we have promotion materials like the t-shirts, pens, bags, tattoos. The t-shirts, their sense is to bring them to the schools for the role games to become fun, just teaching by fun. So, and the posters, we have disseminated 40,000 copies to primary and secondary schools. While talking about dissemination channels, we have disseminated more than 1 million media outlets within the last 2 years. And since the start of the Sheep Life project, it's more than 2.5 million. If we go through the media monitoring, so within the media, we have appeared more than 1,000 times within the last 2 years. And Sheep Life Comics in Children magazine, we have disseminated more than 800,000 pieces. And also we have more than 800 broadcasts within the national television and over 7,000 broadcasts within regional television, which we consider as a really big success to bring the output like this to the national television. And other channel, we have broadcasted more than 300,000 times ship-like cartoons on the public transport screens, which mean the screens in the buses, in the public means of transport. For us, as we said, we are dealing with surveys and researches, and the most important thing for us is that this independent survey says that 92% of 9-year-old children in Slovakia, they know the ship-like project, and 88% of them, they have seen at least one episode, which we consider as a really massive and outstanding success. And yeah, the children really understand the messages of the ship-like project, and as I was speaking about the worldwide sharing and best practices sharing, we have 24 ship-like episodes following 24 safer internet and modern technologies issues within the 23 different world languages, which is in total 610 videos. As you can see, 24 of them are for deaf persons and 24 are dedicated to visually impaired and blind. Altogether, if you sum up the 24 episodes multiplied by 3, it becomes 72 minutes totally, which is equal to Shrek movie for your imagination, what we have delivered. Here are just the key awards within recent years. Yeah, and thank you very much for your attention, and what I would love to show you is one of the episodes which takes 3 minutes.
No, we don't have time for that. Julia, questions? Yes.
So my question is, who is developing those tools? Because you said you are an NGO, and are any copyright issues, or they can be freely used, adapted by others?
Okay, let me invite you, the producer and the president of our NGO.
All copyright is free for use. If some country send us a question, I want to adapt your know-how or your stories to your country, then we send all know-how to this country. And the first answer is our big cooperation. We are big cooperation with other NGOs. He's the director of this NGO, Mr. Baran, who is the author of All Characters. This is a small studio in Slovakia, and we are together make this story. From us, it will be like the ethic issues and all these other projects like the portal and so on. And from Mr. Baran and his studio was the storyteller and so on.
Next question.
Yes, thank you. The presentation did not talk about impact. Yes, there have been a lot of TV, a lot of people downloading. How are you actually measuring whether or not children are safer as a result of all of this? And then I wanted to find out for the TV, who decides whether it goes on TV? Because maybe the children find it very boring, but because you're friends with the guys at TV, they keep playing it. So I want to know, how do we know if the children are enjoying this? How do we know if it's having impact?
Yes, it's a very important question for us. And then we made research. This is an independent research from Research Institute for Child Psychology, Pathopsychology in Bratislava. And we try to ask through this institute how cartoons works in the mind of children. So here's the answer. We know the children not just knows the stories and character, but if something's happened on internet, for example, I took the pictures without the teachers, then the children stop. I see the cartoons with the sheep, and over there is the same story, and I will be not stupid like a sheep from the story, and I don't put this picture to the internet. And our answer to your question is here in this.
It's not simply not just about in the room. We have the role games and the theater games to take their attention, and it's interactive the whole time. They have the t-shirts with the characters, so Yeah, the project is very well known, and as the survey delivers the numbers, they are not fiction. So that's it.
Yes, one more general question, and then the youth award winners can jump in.
The traction have plans to scale above Slovakia, and I think to do so, you need to have an effective business model that people can emulate it, and so you don't have to do all the research and all the work, maybe a licensing model, but also to follow what Mr. Gordon said, you're going to need some metrics too. You're going to need a way to measure the impact that you have on the children, because that's what you're going to use to market it to others. Right now in Slovakia, you have kind of a captive audience if you're working with the public television, with the public media. Not to say that this wouldn't do well in other countries without a captive audience. This is the type of things that you're going to have to sell to people that either going to license it out or invest to scale it.
We have a lot of experience from other countries, and we know if this project start the same small NGOs like me, but if this project just go to the television, it's not, it will be not full success like in Slovakia, because only the stories is nothing. If you turn on the television over there is, I don't know, 10,000 stories and so on. You have to work, go to the school, go to the teacher, trainings and so on, so on, so on. Then this idea is possible to translate or move to other country, but you need some good people in each country who sell this project to other students. And for example, on the page 8 is the channel and numbers when the children found these stories. And look at this, the TV is only 60% of children look at the story on TV. The other channel is a YouTube channel, other channel is web pages, other channel informatics, lesson in the school, other channel is in the buses, other channels in the magazine, and so on and so on.
Okay, any questions from the youth award winners? If not, any questions from the rest of the audience? Otherwise, thank you. Thank you. So this is the 5th in the list for the jurors, the last row. And after this, we'll take questions, and then we still have a bit of time left, so we can take much more questions, more discussions for all the speakers together as one panel. Yeah.
First of all, let me congratulate all the World Summit Award winners for inclusion and empowerment, and I think we have to applaud them. Everybody is really outstanding projects from all over the world. In this aspect, I want to express my gratitude to World Summit Award as a movement that promote excellence in so many fields of activity. Now,
Das habe ich noch gar nicht gefragt. Wie kommt man eigentlich mit dem neuen iPad zurecht, was wir dir zum Geburtstag geschenkt haben?
This is me. This is me.
Die ganzen Apps bist du klar?
I just received an iPad from my daughter. She asked me if I'm okay with the iPad. I said, okay, let's go. It was properly. This is me, and I'm here as a winner for the 2nd time in my life, which is very, very refreshing. Let me tell you. The first one was in 2005 with eContact. Since about Silverco, the company I represent is a very old company according to many standards. It's a very new company according to international standards, and what I'm dealing with. Apparently, I'm dealing with technology. But let me tell you that is not true. Because in education, the field I'm working since 1984, we are dealing with process, with people, and with culture. So, if we are talking about education, we have to focus on what process have we to solve with specific people and in a specific country. So, e-learning as my major field of activity is more a pedagogical project rather than an IT one. I do not consider it as an IT project. I consider it more an pedagogical project. In 2005, we won the World Summit Award. We were World Summit Award winner with content dedicated for education, and until now we developed so many projects worldwide. And once again, thanks to World Summit Award, a lot of doors were opened after 2005 for our business model. So now we are present with nationwide projects in former Soviet Union countries, in Europe, in Brussels, in London, in Finland, in Northern Africa, in Dubai, Oman, Qatar, all these countries, Cyprus, Malta, 2 weeks ago. All these countries are using now content specially dedicated for their educational system. However, I'm still here. I'm still using this kind of learning activity because I'm a teacher, I told you already this, and if I'm a teacher, I know to teach. I do not care about learning. Because in my university, everybody told me about the methodology of teaching mathematics, the methodology of teaching physics, geography, whatever you name it. Nobody told me about the methodology of learning. And more than this, before 1990, in Romania, we did not recognize that we have children with special needs. 1 in every 5 people had a special educational need. 1 in 5. Before 1990, in Romania, we did not recognize that these people exist. So, what we consider to solve a little bit is to create special content to make these children learn. In what? Because people are naturally different and diverse. We have to recognize this, which is a big problem in all the educational systems in the world. We consider everybody as conformity. This is the methodology, you have to follow it. However, it's not true because we are diverse. Diversity, not conformity. Because we do not offer to our children, to our students, you name it what kind of educational system we are talking about. We do not offer them the possibility to become curiosity, to light the flame of curiosity for these children. Because I'm the guilty man here. Because this is me with my blackboard. I'm very proud that I know to solve a problem, and I'm very proud to discuss with the piece of chalk and to show to the piece of chalk and to my blackboard how elegant can I solve a math problem. This is the truth. This is the ardent truth. Behind me, the students alone. They are not there to see a smart or dumb person in front of them. They are there to feel the joy of understanding. And I'm not offering them the joy of understanding. The step from that picture to this one is a very difficult one to make for teachers. Suddenly it's humiliating to go from here to here and to understand finally that student-centric learning is not a student with a laptop or with a tablet. It's collaborative learning. What we can offer to the students in student-centric learning is a collaboration between them and the role of the teacher to help them to understand. We made a lot of research, around 12 months for this project, to understand the emotion, the attitude, the personality of these children. We stay in schools together with their teachers to understand better and better what kind of drawings can we make for them, what kind of colors can we put on the screen for this kind of children, how can we improve the appetite for research for these children. Well, finally, we develop a lot of content. We develop a lot of incentives in all this content for the children. Each content ends with a diploma, so each student is able to go to the end. More than this, we succeeded to train teachers on 4 layers, on 4 levels. Basic ICT, ICTA in the classroom is a complementary tool for education, not alternative. I repeat, complementary tool for education. Whoops, it's not okay. It's okay. So, we train teachers to create, at the end of the day, their own personalized content for this. Look to my reason. Look to their faces. Look how happy they are. They are happy to go to the school, finally. They go to the school because they feel the joy of understanding. That is what we succeeded at the end of the day to do in our schools with children with special needs. That is what one of the mothers told me, actually. She wants to kiss my hand. It was a fantastic day that day. I stayed like this, and she said, I want to thank you because you made my son, my boy happy. It was amazing. No award in the world can replace what I felt in that day. Because what is my role as a teacher? Is to prepare my students to work in jobs that do not exist today, with technologies that are not yet invented, to solve problems that are not yet problems. That is what I have to do. For all the children in my country, for all the children in the world, I see. This is what, if you are teachers here in the room, remember this and go home and say this to your decision makers, politicians, whatever they are. Thank you very much. If you have questions, I'm here. Gravity, whatever. I don't enter into this kind of details. What we succeeded to do was to create the appetite of accessing some information that could be transformed in knowledge. How can we do it? By helping them. We had here somewhere, I don't know if I was here, for instance. Each content has a teacher, this is a teacher, and an avatar. A teacher, an avatar, the robot. Teacher, the little bear is an avatar. The avatar here is the little bee. The avatar is the student's friend. The avatar helps the student wherever he's doing wrong on the screen. The teacher is young, with an accident in age, with a voice more authoritarian, but the avatar is student's friend. Whatever the student is doing wrong on the screen, the avatar finally will help him. So all the students are at the end able to fulfill the tasks that they have to fulfill on each screen. So this is helping to be more confident, to go to the end, and to go to the end, at the end is a diploma. Whatever they are doing, they get the diploma. They print it. We have students with all the walls in the house, their house is full of diploma, because they want to take over and over again, because they like this award. They like to be recognized that they are able to do something at the end of the day. Otherwise, everybody says, you are stupid enough, stay there, it's okay, I will give you the 5, the lowest mark to graduate the school, and stay there.
Let's see some other questions also. Any other questions? Yes.
And I just have with the tools here, you show that you provide content for the students to interact with. But a big problem sometimes is just identifying that a student, what particular disability, or provide tools for teachers to determine that quickly. And then another thing is are you able to use the tool, is the tool designed so that the kids get to stay in the same classroom as the other kids that might not be challenged? Because sometimes that helps if the kid stays in there, doesn't feel special.
The project was designed to be inclusive. So we did not put children with special needs in special rooms. We tried to include, so we created special laboratories in all the schools that had children with special needs. We trained all the teachers. We trained their parents to work at home extra with their kids. But the children were in normal classrooms. Regarding the first question, we are not able to offer clinical results. So we are teachers and IT experts. The teachers define the content, the IT experts wrote the code. So, we are not clinic. So this is not what we are dealing with. But recognizing the early autistic children or children with special needs. They are there, they exist. This is a huge step of understanding that my country did in the last 20 years. I repeat, before 1990, we did not recognize that these children exist in the society. It was a blame to recognize this.
Which I asked for the other products on Sheep Alive. How are we getting the feedback in terms of the success and impact? Yes, people are more aware that these children exist, but how do you know whether or not you've actually helped the kids? Not just from their parents, but from the kids.
Usually we do assessment of all the projects we are dealing with. The study of impact of the project inside the target group. More than this, for this project was financed with European money, so we were obliged to do audit after the project regarding the impact in terms of psychopedagogical effects for these children. We succeeded to do it. It was an independent study done by the Bucharest University, run by the Bucharest University. The results were outstanding, but not in terms that I thought at the beginning. The results were outstanding in terms of involving all the stakeholders of the education system, meaning school, teachers, parents, in this kind of activity, which we did not think at the beginning that would be possible to do it. The results of the kids is like this. We increased the percentage of admission to good schools after 2 years of implementing project with 40% from these schools, which is huge. It's not too much, but it's huge for the project.
Okay, any questions from the Youth Award winners? Yes.
I'm from the WSA and I still go to school, so I think what you're doing is very heroic because I hate school, and I want to ask whether it could be integrated in a developing country which is much more remote with technology, because I heard what you said, technology is something that is very a complementary rather than an alternative. Thank you.
On one hand, technology is indeed a vehicle. It's not the scope of e-learning. What I want to say, and I want to underline, is that E from e-learning comes from enhanced, not electronic. Because if you say electronic learning, you have to say mechanical learning, chemical learning, industry of wood learning, whatever you want to learn. So e-learning is enhanced learning, and e-learning is learning at the end of the day. More than this, I believe that the educational system is the core of any society. I cannot come from Romania in any country in the world to say, I know how to solve this problem. Because it's a specific process, with specific people, with specific culture. I don't know your culture. I don't know your people. I don't know what kind of processes do you have unsolved now that probably the IT, the technology, can solve them. So, yes, I think, I believe that I'm in the same boat with you. I hate school also. Everybody did in this room. I don't know if somebody got to school because, oh, I love the school, I want to go. You did it? All right. We have here something like extra sample for us. But in the same time, everybody in this room had at one moment a teacher who opened her or his mind. And this is very important. One teacher at least. And that teacher was the light that offered to all of us here the power of discovery, the power of curiosity. Because we are here at the same table because we had at least one teacher in our life.
That's a very good note on which to end this presentation. A round of applause please for the speaker from Romania, Champion for Human and Special Needs. And we still have about 20 minutes ahead of us, so let me ask all the 4 speakers to come up here for open Q&A with the audience. So Sheep Live and Town Project and Dried Square, will you all please come up? And our friend from Romania, please come up again. We have some more time to make passionate speeches. Okay, questions, comments from the audience. I've got one quick one for these 4 speakers, which is how many of you are private companies and how many of you are government funded, how many of you are NGO funded? So how do you plan to be sustainable? Meaning in the next 5 years, will we still see you here or you think you'll be changed in some way?
First of all, TEM is a private company, limited liability corporation. When it comes to sustainability, the main model that we're working on is our income comes from two sides. The first side is providing the service of the competition all the way from concept to implementation to platform. And the other part is we create the competition and then we get it from partners, as the case with the awards event. When it comes to sustainability, we have a plan of creating, now in Saudi especially, and these areas, that the idea of the VCs is getting more and more spread. So we want to create a market for the VCs and for the incubators and accelerators where you don't have the fund for marketing, for not every institute has that fund. So what we're doing is we're creating a hub where all the most attractive and creative projects will be listed there, and then you have an exclusive access to those creative projects to have fun. And that's where our future model comes from.
Okay, as I stated to you earlier, Blind Square is a hobby project of one man. So basically, he releases a new version actually almost monthly. So he's continuously working on this project, and I wouldn't be surprised if he has another project coming up soon, because I know that he has a brilliant mind and he's very creative. So I think that it will be sustainable because it's on his hands, and we don't need any other funding, I believe.
So our NGO is part of a pretty big consortium based on the PPP principle, which is a public-private partnership. And within the last almost decade, we have gathered the key players, national players from the private sector, like Microsoft, T-Com, and companies like this. And also we have tied a partnership with 4 key ministries, the Ministry of Education, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Interior, and Ministry of Culture. So we have built pretty tough and was long-term cooperation, and now we have really big and I do believe strong platform which we can build on in the future also.
I represent a private company. So we have money according to what we sell. We have now projects on 3 continents in 20 countries. I'm talking about the educational division that I'm dealing with. But we are not doing only education. We are also in e-health, e-customs, etc. But in education we have projects on 3 continents now. Our business model, because nobody asked me and I have a lot of questions on business model. Our business model is 1 license per country, lifetime, with access to all the upgrades. So we do not make resale, we do not sell school by school, we make 1 contract with the government. If the government considers that education is a priority for their countries, we are present to offer our experience and knowledge and know-how in this field of education, not necessarily IT education, first of all. This is your plan.
Okay, audience questions. Who wants to jump in and ask these speakers some questions? We have 15 minutes left, so we can have at least 3 or 4 questions. Hello.
My name is Marius, I'm from Estonia, and I have a little question about copyrights. We are talking, at least in these projects, most of our projects, dealing with some kind of multimedia content. And probably this content is created by users themselves, teachers in Romania, example, people in Saudi, example. But who is the owner of this intellectual property? And does this, for example, if teacher uploads some material in your portal, in your website, does it give away his rights to his material, to his content? Or how it's managed?
I have to answer to this. All the content that we provide to governments, to ministers of education, to education national education systems, it's 100% made in-house. So all the multimedia is created by Civeco employees, designers, teachers with contract inside Civeco. Regarding the level of training the teachers how to create their own content, we have a mechanism of validating if the content is accurate from the point of view of copyright and plagiarism, etc. So if the content is correct, if all the elements in the content are made by the teacher, he has the possibility to offer to all the others his work, or to sell it if you want to sell it to a private company, you name it, it could be Civeco or any kind of other company. So it's his own will to offer for free or to sell.
Shikha, what's your motive? You have a consortium of NGOs, so who owns all this content?
So, as explained before within the presentation, so this is easy. When some country is interested for our cartoons, we simply have the contract on distribution, which we just together fill up, and we just deal with the period which we set it for, and then we just send the material to be done within the studio. We personally come to investigate that everything is properly done, because one thing is to have the subtitles, and one thing is to have the proper dubbing. So it has to be, once they have the subtitles in the country, and they want to dub, so they need to do it with the Slovak native speaker, to do it directly from Slovak language again. So we are really caring about the results, not to just put it to any NGOs interested in the cooperation. We need to be sure that this is a professional studio delivering professional outputs, and that's it.
And Blind Square?
I believe that most of us know Foursquare anyway, and as we're using this kind of open data, I believe that we have no issues with the copyrights.
Now, who wants all those ideas and suggestions?
So basically, it's different from each competition to another. So if the terms and conditions is really clear for the participant before he goes into the competition. For example, when you participate with a very simple thing like an idea of 500 characters, for this you agree to the terms and conditions that you're trying to inspire the society. So if someone took that idea and came up with a business out of it, you sold your idea to win the prize. That's the main thing with it. So there are two sides of it. The first side is helping to protect the owner of the ideas and the projects, and then making sure that those who submitted that ideas and projects, they actually own it, and they're not copying from somewhere else and putting it, if it's a picture or a video or something like that. So as I said, from the first part, it depends if it's an idea, a simple thing. There's a clear terms and conditions that you're selling what you're posting and you're not owning it. When it comes to a very complicated process, like a full business plan of an idea with all the financial indications of it, with that, the company take charge of the privacy of that information and not being passed to parties other than the juries. And the juries signed that they're in charge of keeping that information private and not going anywhere else. And now gonna participate or take that idea to implementation. So this way we make sure that whoever participates, his right is already set. So when it comes to checking if that person actually own the content or not, we had recently a competition about reading, and what people did, they went to Goodreads, and they actually copied Goodreads and then placed that in the competition. So what we did, we have a very rigorous process of like Turnitin and different mechanisms to actually check if that content is already existed before or not, to the maximum level possible.
My last question for all of you is, what was the best moment for you in these projects and why? And also, what was the most difficult challenge you had and how did you overcome it? So that you can inspire all the young people over here to not get discouraged, but get inspired by what's ahead of them. So, the best thing and the most difficult thing.
I'm trying to remember the worst moment. Actually, the most difficult moment is when you come up with an idea and you really believe that this idea will exist and will work. However, you really find a hard time finding those people who actually see your seed as a tree. So you look at your small seed as a full tree, and you see it that way, but very few number of people actually can see it with you as a tree that has a lot of fruits and a lot of impact. And facing these challenges day and night, sometimes you reach a point where you find no one actually do believe in your idea before it sees the light. And I still remember that moment where I really felt that there is no way I can make this along with my team and co-founders. And all of a sudden things start working and find another way of doing it. That's the worst part of it. And so one advice they would, so don't stop. Keep pushing, keep pushing. Change your direction a little bit, but don't stop. Once you stop, you get any idea that you believe in. So the second thing, the best moment actually when you talk with the winners, and you see that, as I mentioned, through the story and other stories, they really get access and you enable them in society, you engage them, you allow them to have a chance, an opportunity to flourish. That moment you feel you have a meaning in life, you have an impact in people's life and people's future.
Very nice.
Okay, I have to scroll to another mind to gather this information from Ilkka's head, but I believe that the most difficult point was to get the idea actually, because he started to want to make a new application and he was thinking about maybe something about navigation, something about different locations, but then he got up this idea to do it for blind people. And that I think was also the breakpoint of everything, so that his brilliant mind started to work on the project and he started to develop it, and after that I believe that it has been like a dance. And I believe that the best moment must have been that when he got the feedback from the actual users, so that he realized that he has done something that is worthwhile for people who are not often thought about in the whole e-business area, I believe, or in the whole e-content area. We only think that phones are for those who can see, at least smartphones. You are using your tablet to check out new things and to look at things and to play with your eyes and everything. But if you can't see, then it's a different thing.
Ups and downs.
Yeah, so as I have a company just almost 2 years, so I need to think about what was the biggest or the best moment for us. But I believe one of them would be, there's annually organized a Safe Internet Day, which is dedicated to the safe internet issues and modern technologies. And what we really did, so we have organized the day directly at the school for visually impaired and blind children. And I do believe that when we delivered, when they could, okay, let's say enjoy, not watch the cartoons with audio commentary, so this was pretty strong, and I do believe that we went directly to the target group, and we saw that the children really enjoyed and they really know the issues, and there is a lack of the materials and outputs like that. So this was one of the strongest moments I do assume. And from the other side, as we are an NGO, non-government organization, so it's all about the sources, which you would agree. So we are dealing with the sources to be supporting us within our continuous work. But as I said, we have a pretty strong platform based on the public-private partnership, and the success we are reaching year by year, it's moving us forward. And yeah, this is the thing that pushes you just towards, and that we're really focusing on the partners from the public and private sector continuously.
All right, I do not want to compete with coffee break. However, well, it's like this. This year I celebrate 30 years of teaching, so I'm a teacher. My wife, she's a teacher, my parents were teachers, my grandparents were teachers, my daughter prepares herself to be a teacher. She makes a PhD in sociology of happiness in London. It's amazing, sociology of happiness, we study happiness. My son just graduated a master in film and philosophy, so we are a gifted family. My worst moment was I discovered that not everybody is like me. When I entered for the first time, after 30 years of being a teacher, not 30, 27 I was at that moment, to enter in the classroom with not gifted children, when I discovered that there exist parents that are not happy, they have huge problems, because the most unfair thing that I consider that is directly to me. That gives me a huge power to convince the government to run for a project to the European Union, to get money, to create something in my country. If I did not enter in the classroom and stay in the classroom and discuss with unhappy parents, with unhappy teachers, because it's extremely difficult to be a teacher in this kind of classroom. You are not a human being when you finish your job in that day. It's what I felt, at least. Okay, that was the most difficult period in my life, and this is what I have to say. The happiest period in my life was after the project ended, and we continued to meet with the parents and to continue the project without money, because the project is ended, and to continue to meet the teachers and to meet the students and to discuss. Each meeting with the parents is a blessing. Each meeting with the parents is a blessing. This is the happiest moment. I'm out of office 1 week after this kind of meetings. I cannot focus on anything. It's amazing. And I encourage you to try it.
As mentioned, coffee is served outside. Please tweet away on #WSA.
Austria, can I see you? Austria, not in the room. Open Imo, you're in the room. Aula 365, in the room. Presentation to Egypt, you're in the room. So the only people not in the room are the Austrians. They're not here, so we don't score them. Okay, excellent. So you know the drill. It's how many minutes presentation? 7 minutes presentation. Nora, are you keeping time? Okay, and then we follow normally. So over to you. Have you got a mic?
So, who are we? The Science Learning Hub is a website aimed at New Zealand science teachers and their students. Our resources are freely available, bringing together a combination of 30 years of educational research showing what is needed to engage teachers and students in science to meet future needs. Science is fundamental to a sustainable future. It's been estimated that 75% of the fastest growing occupations require knowledge and skills in science and technology. Citizens of the future will also require a sound understanding of science concepts. We're providing quality content to build the knowledge, skills and confidence of our teachers so that they can engage their students in science. I touch the future, I teach. Sparking Fresh Thinking, the Science Learning Hub, is an education portal that has evolved since the site was launched in 2007. And if you saw the 2007 homepage, you would see that improvements were desperately needed. The homepage acts as a gateway to the resources with multiple pathways and advanced search and visual browsing. Online user surveys over the last 4 years have informed development and shown that teachers visit the hub for a range of reasons. They find it easy to use and navigate, and no doubt the site will continue to evolve with the development in IT.
Shop for science teachers. Our site features large collections of high-quality, classroom-ready resources. We have images that we often source directly from scientists themselves. We have videos that are shot on location.
Excellent. So I think, to be fair, we'll invite you to start from the beginning again, because people may have forgotten with the trauma of the events we've just gone through. And you had only gone 1 minute into your time. All right. So let's welcome again the team from New Zealand. And over to you, Nora. Let's
it may be a journey. Okay, so the Science Learning Hub is a website aimed at New Zealand science teachers and their students. Our resources are freely available. No registration is required. It's a culmination of 30 years of educational research showing what is needed to engage teachers and students in science to meet future needs. Science is fundamental to a sustainable future. It's been estimated that 75% of the fastest growing occupations require knowledge and skills in science and technology. Citizens of the future will require a sound understanding of science concepts too. So we're providing quality content to build the knowledge, skills and confidence of our teachers so that they can engage their students in science. I touch the future, I teach. Sparking Fresh Thinking, the Science Learning Hub is an education portal that has evolved since the site was launched in 2007. And if you saw the 2007 homepage, easily look at it and look back on it and know that it needs some improvement. The homepage acts as a gateway to the resources with multiple pathways and advanced search and visual browsing. Online user surveys over the last 4 years have informed development and shown that teachers visit the hub for a range of reasons. They find it easy to use and navigate, and no doubt the site will continue to evolve with developments in IT, mobile platforms and the like.
Okay, we are a one-stop shop for science teachers. Our site features large collections of classroom-ready, high-quality resources, including images, which we often source from scientists themselves. We have videos that are downloadable that we shoot on location around New Zealand to take students beyond the walls of their classroom. We have animations and interactives that explain key science ideas, downloadable student activities, and teacher strategies and other resources to support teachers to develop their skills, and information sheets to build understanding and knowledge around key science concepts. Now, our resources are really diverse, so we arrange them into contexts that fit the New Zealand science curriculum. Teachers can then choose materials that are relevant to the needs of their students and their communities. So for example, just to give you a flavour, habitat, animals, adaptation, forces, waves, fire, cycles, volcanoes, space, as well as how science works.
The Hub is a unique nationwide collaboration that brings together a team of people across New Zealand with expertise in a wide range of disciplines in science, education, educational research, ICT and multimedia to deliver the high quality, well-designed, research-informed product that you see on the web today. We also provide professional development to teachers as well, showing them how to use the Hub resources. It's more than just a website only. And remembering too that New Zealand is a relatively small nation on a world scale with a population of 4.2 million and less than 50,000 teachers, many of whom do not in fact teach science at all. Access to IT is still very variable in New Zealand.
I recently did a search for genetics on Google looking for resources and I got 137 million results. Now that's a little bit overwhelming, so that's part of one of our key goals is to help teachers with this information overload, like where do they go to for high quality resources. So our objective is to provide a platform for quality e-content, and we know that teachers really value our rigorous quality assurance procedures. They trust us and they know they can send their students to our site and the information they find there will be reliable. We're also continually updating our site. Which means that we can be responsive to things that happen in New Zealand. Some of you may have heard we had some pretty major earthquakes at the end of 2010, and we were able to create new earthquake materials as well as add regular news stories to the site to support teaching in a responsive way.
Access to IT is still very variable in New Zealand schools, and so we provide multiple formats to suit individual schools, teachers and classrooms. We're trying to make teachers' jobs easier and our classrooms more interesting. How many of you actually love science when you were at school?
One of the things we're most proud of our site is that we're a showcase, a comprehensive showcase of the science research in New Zealand right now. We feature individual scientists from all universities, Crown Research Institutes, as well as a number of independent research organisations. It's this sort of relationship that makes our resources engaging and relevant to students. These really are the heart of our site for the scientists. As you see, New Zealand is profiled on the site as well as our cutting-edge research, but we believe our product has a wider appeal. And certainly it can be used as a worldwide scientific resource. The concepts are the same across countries.
So what makes us so special? And we're kind of thinking that we're special because we're here in the first place. So we're not going to just explore that a little bit. This quote actually came from an Asia Pacific meeting in 2011. And one of the delegates actually said, what could be achieved if we bring together our best scientists, educators and multimedia specialists to create a learning environment for our students? Well, that's what we're doing. We're bringing together all of those facets together in order to actually create a resource for our science educators.
One of my favourite parts of my role at the Hub is using social media to build a community that can allow interaction between New Zealand teachers and scientists. In particular, we use Pinterest to build dynamic collections of resources in response often to teacher requests. So it's a way we can gather the material from the Science Hub onto a board. We also can then respond to other current events in New Zealand like Conservation Week. Twitter in particular is a really good way to get good interaction going with the science. You can see here a picture of an unidentified fungus that a New Zealand teacher and his students found in the school grounds. He posted a photo on Twitter and I was able to quickly connect him with a scientist at the bottom of the South Island who was able to help these students identify. So it's just another way that we can bring scientists into the classroom for these teachers and students.
Judges, any questions?
There are a large number of people behind the product. First of all, obviously, our funding comes from the New Zealand government, so they're key to the funding stuff. But also, there's quite a big team. There's the team of content developers at the University of Waikato. There's around about 10 people working on that team. We're also supported by the wider faculty of education within the University of Waikato as well. But we also work with a multimedia company who actually produce the website for us, so they provide the expertise in IT. And then there are a number of people who work in terms of delivering professional design and actually working with teachers. All quite part-time, quite a small amount of time, but there is quite a large number of people. That's why it's such a unique collaboration in the way that all of those people are actually We use a range of things in our research program. We obviously look at Google Analytics, but we also have done an online survey each year for the last 4 years. But we also part of our research program with classroom studies, looking at the way teachers use it and how the students are actually engaging with the material as well. So very quickly, in July 2010, we had 16,000 unique visitors to the site. Whereas by March this year, it was around about 130,000 unique visitors. We're quite proud in the fact that we've now had over 3 million unique visitors to the website. Again, that's quite a smaller number on the world scale, but in terms of our best teachers, that actually represents 75% of the New Zealand population.
Yes.
Navigation on your site, you have an enormous amount of content on there already in your large archives. Let's say if I was a science teacher and I'm going to do a lesson on volcanic do I have to go to the video section, get a video on it, to the workshop section, get a worksheet on it? Or is there a search function where I can just put down volcanic activity and aggregate?
Yes, there is, and the search function actually allows you to choose, if you only want to look at the video, you can select the video, or you can narrow the search further.
Excellent. Now, do you have a mobile application for this as well?
Yeah, yes, we do. The Science Learning Hub app is obviously a version for iPads and iPods. There's also an Android version for a number of Android applications. But also what we're looking at the moment is HTML5 for a number of our interactive to try to get away from Flash. But also looking at web responsive design as well, because we think that's really important. That work is underway at the moment.
What is the source, any sources of feedback that you get? What feedback are you able to get from the use of the site?
From the online surveys, from our classroom studies, and focus groups that we work with. But we also get a lot of anecdotal feedback from teachers from conferences and working with them and things like that. And I spoke to a teacher at a conference a couple of weeks ago, and I said to her, why do you do that? She said, why wouldn't I? She said, it's great, there's fantastic material here, it's easy to use, why wouldn't I do it? So the feedback, we're getting feedback from a lot of people, and it's really positive, it's great for us, we love our job.
I think it's a great product, but the feedback, you want to be able to get good survey questions, which is very important the way you word it, to get valuable feedback so you can find out new features from them and get the best ideas for teachers.
Okay. I think, is there any other judge who wants to ask? Manar, and you want a follow-up question, and then let's move to the youth award winners.
business model? I'd like to know more about that.
It's a little bit different for us because our funding does come from the New Zealand government, and so we work under contract to them, and so we negotiate with them what they want us to create, and we're very actively involved in decisions around what we do, what content we find, and how we deliver. So I guess the best thing to say is that there's three components to our work. One is the website itself, content. The second one is professional development, where is the research side of it. But our funding does come from the government. So yes. No, they were involved right at the beginning. Again, because of the research around the need for engaging our students and clients, and international research shows quite clearly that we need to engage our students and clients. It came out of that need, the need that was identified by the New Zealand government for higher educational research as well. And those discussions took place to decide what was the best way of meeting that need. And it was seen that e-learning being developed and actually making it as accessible to all teachers, all classrooms, all students, that actually using an e-learning platform is the best way to do it. The Ministry of Business, Innovation and Employment.
Yes. If a teacher comes up with new ideas, can he add to the system? And what kind of quality process is done?
Yes, they can. And teachers are actually involved in the development of content on the site, and they are actually also part of our quality assurance process. So our material is reviewed by a number of different people before it's published on the site. That's time consuming, which is the disadvantage of that. But at the moment we think it's the quality that is really important. But we're looking in the future to have better forums like that for sharing tools and things like that.
Good. Let's hear from the Youth Award winners. Any questions? Youth Award winners? Nobody? One person?
Hi. There's a lot of English language material websites that provide a whole range of educational content. So how do you try to distinguish yourselves from other portals that can also provide this sort of information easily and freely accessible?
Great. So let's give them a round of applause and move to next.
Appreciating the UN and USA for recognizing our efforts and for seeing value in the point project. There is a trend that has been taking strong foothold in the last few years globally, and it's a trend that resonates quite strongly with the subject that the UNWSA promotes, and that's the knowledge society. That is how we make the most out of information and how we apply that to solving social problems. Now, the knowledge society, it's something that both developed nations and developing nations are quite keen about. But there is a difference in how they go about it. The developed nations, interestingly, already have an established education infrastructure. Now, the knowledge society requires that you develop human capacity, and one key component of developing human capacity is the basic education component. As I said earlier, the developed nations have an established education infrastructure. Now, developing nations, as keen as they are, Kenya, well, countries as developed as China, they are just in the early days of establishing a robust education infrastructure as concerns basic education. So this presents a bit of a challenge to developing nations. And in trying to solve it, in addition to conventional means, it makes sense to explore silver bullet. And that is what our project is about. Our project is called Opoimo. Opoimo is a Yoruba name for tablet of knowledge. Yoruba is spoken in the southwestern part of Nigeria. I will try best, I'll try best to explain this with the story of a girl from Osun in Nigeria. That is Taiwo Adekunle. She is in the last year of basic education. She's 16 years old. Her dad passed away some months ago. Her mother is a civil servant. Her family attained to what you can call the low economic class, the bottom 1 billion of the world. She wants to be a doctor, and she has to walk a lot to go to school. And in good time, she takes a bus to school. Now, Taiwo wants to be a doctor. She needs to study. For her to be a doctor, she has to pass math subjects, and especially science subjects. And the same thing you see in Taiwo applies to close to 150,000 high school students in Osun, and close to 1 million and so high school students in Nigeria. Now, the statistics concerning basic education in Nigeria are not the most encouraging, but it's a reality that we have to contend with. We have around 10 million children that are yet to go to school, 1.3 million shortage of teachers, 1.2 million shortage of classrooms. 52% of our young women that go to primary school may still end up being illiterate. And this situation is not unique to Nigeria. It's similar to sub-Saharan Africa, and you would find something similar as well in the developing world. The government of Osun, who sponsored this project, thought it right to, in addition to pursuing conventional means of tackling this problem, to explore how we could use technology to provide what you can call silver bullet solutions. And that is where Opoimo comes in. Opoimo is an attempt to use technology to solve the peculiar problem of developing nations, the peculiar learning challenge within the basic education sector of developing nations. What does it do and how does it stand apart? It's a tablet. It has all the content a high school student needs to prepare for the last 3 years of basic education. That is, those will be 17 subjects in all the 3 years. That is what makes it a number of 56 textbooks. It has 800 minutes of virtual lessons, 40,000 past questions covering all the subjects that a high school student would study, regardless of his or her specialization. It has what we believe is a bit of an intuitive user interface. Now, what makes Opoimo stand apart? First thing is that Opoimo aligns itself with the latest efforts to use technology to tackle education. Efforts that are, in truth, only gaining ground even in the developed nations. I'm talking about the effort to use tablets to provide content in school. Interestingly, this project has started in Osun close to 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the key solution of what it tackles is that of access. Taiwo, as seemingly good or as seemingly sad the situation is not actually the worst of the case. There's a worse situation, and that is the son or the daughter of a farmer that lives farther from the capital. Taiwo lives in the capital of Osun, that is Osun. Now, for those kids who live farther and who go to rural schools, the situation is even worse. And they will have to carry, at best, that is if their parents can buy them those textbooks, because typically the parents will struggle to buy the textbooks for those 9 subjects. They would have to, Opoimo provides universal access, and that is one of the key points. Now, mobility. The tablet can be used both in school and at home. So that Opoimo brings the school to the home. Opoimo has bespoke content, textbooks, classroom, and test zone, and those are the practice questions. we believe Opmoimo can be valuable for Nigeria and large and the developing world, and we seek partnerships to make Opmoimo available to the world. I will be available for questions. My colleagues here will provide answers in the areas of technology and business model. Thank you.
Congratulations, exactly on time. So judges, yes?
So, Opmoimo, you can update the content, but in a rather unique and different way. So, the standard we are being to update it with internet. But we build Opmoimo for rural Africa, where indeed the data networks are not the most friendly. So what did we do? Opmoimo comes preloaded with all the content that the student needs. However, there is an offline update mechanism that is tied to the school. In the case of Osun, we've divided Osun into 9 zones. And as at when due, there is a process of updating the content. So we should bear in mind that typically when you say this, people worry that, oh, it's not updated all the time. If you look at the benefit of having this compared to what we didn't have before, you would see that it's actually a major advantage. And textbooks don't get updated every day, interestingly. You can have a cycle of 3 months to update it. So Opmoimo is a standalone tablet that has an offline update mechanism.
Were the partners of the project sponsoring the tablets, sponsoring content, donating content, and what is the cost?
Opmoimo is exclusively sponsored by the state government of Osun. Yes, there are multiple partners. There are content providers from the textbooks and the textbook providers, the e-books provider, the authority for running exams in West Africa provided past questions. The state government, in conjunction with the teachers, built the virtual lessons that I mentioned. The cost to the government, from a cost of production point of view, is around $150. That is the cost of production to the government. Something else? Thank you. I'll leave that to Colombo, who is the technical director of the project.
Thank you, judges. To your question, we have 20,000 tablets already in use. We have another 30,000 that will be distributed by December. We are distributing a total of 150,000. Now, to the question, if it can be used by students to do other things, well, two things in consideration: the characteristics of our students and the peculiarities of our environment. By that I mean students can only use it for what it is meant for. We have locked the Opmoimo, the tablet of knowledge, down so that it will not cause easy distractions for them doing other things. What do I mean by that? We can't use internet updates, for example. We have a teachers management console around the state. We built a portal around the state where basically will be connected to monitor the performances of students. So we are sure and we are so comfortable and confident that we won't be distracting students by getting them to use this for other things altogether. Now, this is just a sample of Opmoimo. This is what I brought to you. This is what we have for the students. It is a one-stop shop. It is, if you look at this, it's subdivided into 3 major parts, where you have the e-books, you have the virtual classroom, and you have the integrated text zone. Now, the e-book library has all of the subjects, all of the textbooks the child will need to pass each or exam. Now, if I click in here, you will see you see it's subdivided into art, science, and social science. Now, that has all of the textbooks you will need for your final exam. You also have the virtual classroom. Now, what that virtual classroom does is, it is a combination, a compilation of all the lesson notes in the states that teachers get into classroom and teach students. And you also have the integrated test zone, which has all the past questions of the last 10 years of WIC,
West African Examination Council exam. So that it is a one-stop shop for any child to do successfully well in his or her final exam. And that on a single piece of electronic device. And this is the first time you're finding electronic educational content contextualized on a single piece of electronic device. That's what stands us really apart. Thank you for the question. How do we register students? We have a database of all the students in the state and the classes as well. For each of these statements that goes out to a student, it is actually customized to the student and the school. So it carries the student's name and it takes into consideration the school. How do we track? We ensure that through performance monitoring console of the teachers, that the teachers use in classrooms, it is able to track what the students are doing. It is able to track if each student still have his or her tablets still very much in place or still using it, and if it's missing, we pick it up from the database easily that one of the tablets is missing, and then we find a way of getting it back. To answer that question, it is a product, it's an initiative of the governor who decided to help deliver education with technology. So it is a government program.
Another issue we had was the hardware part of it. The servicing, because you're saying, which is true for India as well, there are a lot of rural areas. So if the tablet goes there, how do you guys manage to service the tablets? Because these products in the hands of kids is actually, they break the screens, they'll spill water, and what happens then?
Okay. In our case, it was well thought through. Now, what we did was to subdivide the state into nine different zones, and we have support centers built across those zones. And this may also interest you. We are assembling these tablets in our state. It is not assembled outside the state. So we have the technology, we have the know-how to do this around. And in a case where if it is broken down or if it breaks down, it's a case of you returning it back to one of your support centers who will replace it for you. That's what we're doing.
I want to know what has been the performance growth ever since you introduced this product to the students of Osun State. Has there been an improvement in terms of their examinations? Has there been a growth? What do you use in measuring this growth? And also, if a student is done in terms of graduating, what do you do? Do they return back the tablet or they take it home? Thank you.
Can I suggest that we take the last three?
Yeah. I have a relatively similar experience working with the government, and I work in a developing country in Colombia and throughout Latin America. And one of the big issues that we have is actually scale. And so we're looking at millions and millions of users, as the same with children, with all these projects. Have you considered any alternative distribution models or other models for scaling up? Because tablets are relatively cheap, but one tablet per child is not a very cost-effective model, particularly if you're still unable to prove sort of the differences to the cost. So at scale in terms of
Alright, I will answer the first question.
No, wait, one more question.
Hi, I'm Isabella. I'm from Mexico. I wanted to know what's the coverage in terms of school years. Like when do they receive the tablet and they keep it until they graduate from high school? What happens next? Like the gentleman from Nigeria also wanted to know what happens after. Does it get unblocked and they can use it for something else? They return it and goes to another student, or what happens?
And the second thing is that there is actually a teacher tablet or console whereby each of the tests that are done in the integrated testing are being monitored by the teacher. So the teacher can sit down in the class and we know the performance of each student and be able to know the area of strength and weaknesses of the student. And this is actually feeding in also into a higher console for the principal. So from the school, the principal will see the performances of each class from his standing point of view. So that is how we track performance. And in terms of adaptation, we found out that initially when we were reading it, we done 2 mock tests of this before we started distribution. And we found out that adaptation by the student has actually increased. I think we had initially about 40 to 45% adaptation level. But at this stage I'm talking to you, that has grown it to about 76%. So that is the kind of statistics that we have because of the server model tracking and the performance management console. That answers your question. In terms of scalability and impact,
the last component of your question was regarding what happens after use. As I said, this specific solution tackles, is targeted at the high school students, the last 3 years of high school. Now, the strategy we are adopting is that after you finish, in Osun and typically in Nigeria, the government takes the cost of the school leaving examination. It's called WAEC, West African Examination Council exam. And because it takes it, it is the one that collects the certificate on behalf of the student. Now that's a pretty powerful certificate in Nigeria, and I think in West Africa as well, because without that you can't go to university. So the policy the government is adopting under the scheme is that the students will have to return their tablet in exchange for the WAEC certificate. We are confident that that is something that will work, because not having a WAEC certificate is like losing your 12 years of basic education. So that is how we will ensure that the students return the tablet. As regards the distribution module, what we have done effectively, there are 2 points to your question. One was how are you distributing, and the second is how do you make it cost effective. Now, the first one, the distribution model is fairly straightforward. When you work with government, it makes it easy for you to do a lot of things. We know how many, first of all, this program is targeted at the 150,000 high school students in public schools. So these schools are owned by government. We know where the students are, we know where the schools are. So effectively you have a system, just as we have a support system, a nice support system, we have a system whereby on a gradual basis, we effectively go school by school and this overflow the school, the teachers and the principal, and we track it. That's it. As to the cost, I will give you this very simple analogy. If 1 laptop per child could work, then 1 tablet per child can. You probably say, well, the iPad is more expensive. Okay, so Apple is not your sponsor, but this is not the iPad. This product is something that we designed and we monitor to a large extent the production of China, and then we are domesticating the production in Osun. It is not that expensive, and I can tell you that with the right investment, we can scale. It's a matter of scale. Price can even go lower. So indeed, it's a solution that can be cost effective and can serve the developing world. And so the last question is effectively the same question from the first person. How do you return it? You're right, these are the issues. But again, in the case of Osun, what the government has said is that they will exchange it for their school leaving certificate, which is a very valuable certificate. Another benefit, I think another thing that adds value to the number of questions we ask is that this has been a project that has been an ongoing concern. What I mean by that is that we have had to learn through the project. We have actually seen students attempt to put things in the tablet, and we've had to take it back and re-engineer the system to make it better. So it's interestingly and unusually of Africa, this is not an imported solution. We built the solution with the best of knowledge that we've got. So
thank you so much. That's a very good note to end on. Let me know what we love to do and what is our passion since the last 15 years. OLA 365, OLA means classroom in English, and is an educational transmedia solution that within an enriched digital atmosphere that enables the participation and the co-construction of knowledge between students, teachers, and parents with a gamified context. Let me begin the presentation with a short video about the philosophy of OLA 360.
Collaborative learning is the key to the development of children. Teachers at school have to become enhancers of change so that children discover new worlds and are able to develop their potential of being. We need to promote peer-to-peer conversations, enabling kids to develop their imagination, their ability to deliberate, to work together in order to create a spirit and learn. Education today involves collaboration, and new technologies improve learning environments that make that possible. For such purpose, Omla 365 offers an educational transmedia with gamification that generates an enriched digital atmosphere, enabling participation of students, teachers, and parents. With a proven record of more than 5 million students, our learning method helps children improve their attention, comprehension, and critical thinking while developing moral values such as solidarity and respect for diversity of ideas and cultures. In Omla 365, we promote the right to create by developing a model that invites children to believe in themselves. We want to change the paradigm where the learning process is more important than the knowledge gained. Let's transform the classroom into a celebration of knowledge. Omla 365. Educate to create.
Yes, we have an storytelling is that we have something to consider. The 65% of the jobs we have to perform in the future have not been created yet. So how in this context, how can we support children today? Which is the educational context today? Current educational systems have their origins in the industrial area. They serve one purpose. Workers able to operate machines have to be formed. That's why they are based upon learning through repetition. So, in the society of knowledge comes with new changes, and school must go with this change. It's not a matter of digitalizing education. We think it's a matter of creating a digital education. In our opinion, school today must develop children's potential beings, generate relatable peer-to-peer conversations, teach how to promote collaborative intelligence, embracing the diversity of ideas so that knowledge can become constructed and put it into action. Stimulate creative capabilities so that children can be forged as authentic beings, daring to create new answers and new words. Teachers are faced with a road change from source of knowledge to toward guides and enablers. How can we dignify children? How do we turn them into the protagonists of this future? By making them trust themselves so that they can create and grow with their creations. Classrooms have to be transformed into places that provide for an enriched learning experience through the co-creation of knowledge and students and teachers. Systematize repetition in order to stimulate creation, so that the learning process becomes more important than the resulting knowledge, so that the journey becomes more important than the goals achieved. Collaborative learning is the key for the development of children in the society of knowledge. Children want to be protagonists in the learning process. They want to create, and that is what we are called in Omla 365. A new method that allows for simultaneous fun and learning. Our cause is education for creation. Omla 365 is a solution for collaborative learning that upholds children's dignity through participation and creation. It's a transmedia educational solution that within an enriched digital atmosphere enables the co-construction of knowledge between children, parents, and students and teachers in a gamified context. Omla 365 is proud to have over 5 million users around the world, and millions of positive messages that highlight the social impact of this unique method of learning. Our pedagogical model puts forward participation in co-learning, an educational social network moderated and secure with access 24/7 with virtual teachers, innovation in kids' news, the first interactive newspapers for schools that includes technology, 3D, and augmented reality. Learning in Omla Land with more than 4,000 interactive educational sources. And create Increapolis, the first multiplayer game in 3D that encouraged children to create their own city, games, and content that can be shared with their friends. Which is our mission? We want to start a true transformation of education in order to turn classrooms into places where knowledge is celebrated. Our thoughts. We believe children must have the right to create. That is why we have created a family of characters, the creators, that encourage values like solidarity, daring, ecology, imagination, and respect for cultural diversity. Do you know the difference between learning and studying? Let the creator show us. Yes, I only need 1 minute. Please.
Does anybody know?
Studying is repeating the same answers.
Exploring one only studies to make a good grade.
On the other hand, learning is helping to create knowledge.
Among everyone, it's much better. It's conversing and not just speaking.
We have to do something so kids are excited about learning. All 365 is the largest educational network in Ibero-America, with more than 5 million children, parents and teachers that collaborate and learn on it. Together with the creators, a family of characters with the leader Professor Ricky and his partner of adventures, CC the Bee, children have the mission to create and protect their creations, spreading the knowledge all over the world. All 365 offers a school and home multimedia and interactive support with the learning method: participate, learn, innovate, and create. In Copernia, children will be able to participate, collaborate, have fun, and share knowledge with kids from all over the world under a safe environment. In Olaland, joy and knowledge know no limits. Kids can join the creators and find out the way to learn in an easy and funny way the school content, with more than 4,000 multimedia educational resources created by specialists in each subject. In the fantastic and innovative world of kids' news, children will be amazed by the first interactive newspaper in 3D and augmented reality. They can interact with the most amazing dinosaurs, join the creators in exciting adventures, and enjoy the incredible 3D images. Children participate in conversations of every subject, creating a truly celebration of knowledge. And in Increapolis, they can build the most awesome city just from their own creations, and have fun with friends in this interactive game, 3D and multiplayer, challenging them to play the most innovative games of comic creation, hidden objects, gaming, music, which have to be created by themselves. Because in all of 365, we firmly believe that all children must have the right to create.
Yes, we firmly believe.
Good. Any questions, judges? We have the usual suspects.
Thank you. 5 million users, that's quite a bit. And for how long of a period?
Since 7 years.
7 years.
Yes, the solution is in several countries: Spain, Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, Peru, Chile, and Italy.
Okay. But how about how long, how much usage per child? Do you have any statistics on that?
How many?
How many hours?
How many hours
the average student?
Okay, well, it's a very good question. We measure the engagement of the user by several KPIs. We tracking the activity of each user, and we have the recurrence visits for around 5 times a month for each user. 5 times a month, the users come to Aula 365 for searching new things and collaborative and participate in the many activities we propose on this network.
How long each time?
duration of the visit is almost 30 minutes.
Thank you.
More or less.
Let me encourage the judges not to get into dialogue. Let's just ask questions.
I would be interested to understand better how you integrate the teachers and the parents in the process, how they can engage, how they can control and monitor what their kids are doing.
Okay. Well, OLA 365 was born to use in the at home. It's a tool for help children to do their homework. And in this process, the parents support the children's learning process. They learn together, they can interact in the social network too. And at school, teachers use this tool as an introduction of the theme of the day. They want to put any movies, and they can do the classroom, they do the class with this system. And when the teacher goes, they give the homework at school for children can find to the teachers at this network too. We are relationships between them in the social network.
Hi, I'd like to know how many people are on the team that are working on this?
We have a team for around 100 persons between designers, pedagogical people, teachers, programmers, etc. It's our staff permanently at the site. 100 people, 100 people.
Well, I'd like to understand if there is kind of a formal, let's say, agreement or a relationship with the schools, and how you coordinate with them in order to ensure that, let's say, the students benefit from this app, this solution. Otherwise, is it just used by the student, or do you engage the schools as well?
Okay, both. The OLA 365 is a tool for students to use it at home. This solution doesn't replace classroom. It's a support, and it uses by the teachers too. So it's a tool that enables the learning process to the students and to the teachers as well. We have in our network these 5 million users, and 1 million are teachers, and they participate not only at school, also at the network too. So we have too many testimonies, too many positive messages that the teachers tell us how the leading cases they use OLA 365 in their classrooms, and they show us which are the results of this experience, because they have the networks, but they don't have the content of what to do with their networks. For instance, we are proposing they convert to facilitators and enablers for that knowledge at the classroom.
I want to know, since you have mentioned that the staff working behind this is about 100 people, so what's the business model and how do you sustain?
The business model, we have 3 principal lines. We have to B2B2C model, business to consumer model, and a business to consumer model, and business to government model. We have the 3 line actions. We have to innovate in a business model. Then the use it's a freemium model, because you can, like LinkedIn, you can use the solution You can ask teachers, you can consume the movies, but you are not necessary to pay for it, because the enterprise that support this cost give that the money to can support this service. As sponsors, not advertisers, as sponsors. Yes. Public sector always as well support this solution, and if they want to give to the citizens this solution, the public sector like government, etc., support with a sponsorship to this solution.
Good. We are moving to the last judge's question. Can I see how many of the Youth Award winners would be asking questions? So far we have 2 and 3. Is it 3? And we're running behind schedule, so we will take all of your questions together and then you answer them together. And then yeah.
I just had some comments to make. I'll make it quick. I've seen a lot of e-learning platforms, and this is really unique in that it's not about the content that you're teaching the kids, it's civics, it's values that you're teaching the kids. And this is great as a standalone. You really don't need the schools. And another thing, thinking of some kids, a lot of kids are shy, and this peer-to-peer interaction I think is brilliant, because what happens is kids are more brave to share, interact when they're not physically present. And so this is a really important thing, and this is a product that you really, hopefully, you can look to see if you can scale it out for the team, because it's really, really good.
Thank you. Register the users for less than 14 years. We ask for email of the parents, and we put in contact with the parents in order to solicit the authorization of that registration and validate the age of the children, because many children can say they have an age that they don't have, like many do in Facebook as well. So if we don't validate with the parents, we don't facilitate the access to all of 365. For instance, every participation, every content, every creation that the children do in this network, we moderated it. We don't permit it upload content that won't be moderated before. It's a thing that it's a fundamental for our service. It's countries as we can go with it. The principal challenge for us is to convert this solution in a multilingual solution. We want to turn this in English, Portuguese, Italian language in order to give more facilities for all children to have access to this solution. This solution is used to use as a second language training too, because the movies that the children do, you can read it in English and listen in Portuguese, or read it in the subtitles in Portuguese and listen in Spanish, so that the children can learn different topics of the school and at the same time learning another different languages. This is our goal, principal goal for the next year. And the third question, you have asked for the challenges. Learning outcomes. Learning outcomes.
We have to round up now. Okay. So I think what we'll do is you can take that offline.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I think we've enjoyed your presentation.
My name is Dala Sadiq, Associate Professor of Educational Technology at South Valley University in Egypt, and currently working at Sultan Qaboos University in Sultanate of Oman. My project is titled Presentation Tube, which is a community for encouraging educators and students to produce and share quality video presentation. I'm the founder of Presentation Tube, which is established less than 1 year ago to help myself, my colleagues in my university to produce and share video content across our university. Within a few months, presentation tube received a lot of considerable attention from colleagues and faculty members from different universities and countries around the world. We have many problems and barriers in Egypt, and one of these problems is creating quality content. Reasons for these problems: professional development, lack of resources, experience, and professional software for creating this content. I do believe that's one of the solutions for encouraging instructors to create quality content, to provide them with rapid authoring tools or easy-to-use authoring tools that require no training or experience to produce this kind of content. I noticed that in Egypt we have thousands, or you can say that tens of thousands of lesson presentations delivered each day. These presentations presented or delivered inside classrooms. And usually instructors and teachers in school share these files and these valuable lessons via email with their students or via online slide sharing system, just to provide students with a second chance to review the content. However, as a teacher or a university instructor, all of us know that students are not able to learn better from presentations or content unless they listen or watch the instructor or the presenter. So learning from slides or content in e-learning in particular, without listening or watching the instructor or sitting with the instructors to learn from him, is very difficult or less valuable. So here is the conclusion. If students are not seeing or listening, if students are not listening or seeing the instructors, so learning from the content in isolation will be difficult or maybe impossible for so many students in e-learning environments, blended learning environment, fully distance education environment, and so on. So one of the solutions we can use to encourage or motivate students to learn in isolation in fully distance education or blended learning environments to use videos. As all of us know that video provides students with a sense of interaction with the instructor, less abstract, more realistic compared to different types or formats. Reduce students' cognitive loads as it uses dual channel tool. Students can learn using their visual auditory and audio auditory. Very motivating. So many students in Egypt like to watch videos, tutorials from YouTube. Socially acceptable by teachers, parents, students compared to any other types or formats. So the aim was providing students with quality content, interactive content in interactive video format. So what's the difference between videos available in YouTube and the videos I'm going to show you today? I provided them with an application in presentation tube. This application integrates different types of media, your video footage, your video footage, drawing tools, slides, Word documents, and so on. All these different types of visual materials will be integrated in one piece of video. Using the application, you can create the video, you access to presentation tube, you upload the video, you can watch it later. Here is the website, just a screenshot of the website, which is available in full in Arabic and English. You see here the application is available for downloading with full descriptions, easy descriptions for instructors and users to how to install and use the application, and numerous number of video presentations available for watching. Here is the application. The application user interface is very simple. As you see the toolbar, you can click to show your video footage using your integrated webcam in your laptop or using another external camera, you can show slides in this window. You can show our writing board, drawing board, web content, and so on. This screen, this little window will be captured later to be produced as a video. So you can switch between different types of media formats, add your picture, remove it, and so on. When you are ready, just hit that record button. When you finish, click stop. And here's different types of the software user interface: content, slide, drawing, text, web content, and so on. Just like YouTube, you can upload the video with description and native file, which is called presentation data file, to create this very interesting slide thumbnail. So students in this case will watch a video with slides, which is different from YouTube. You just watch a video. Or slideshare.net, you just read from slides. Here you see the slide and the related video to the slide. So if I click on slide 2, I'll see the teacher one. He narrates, explain, write, draw content related to this slide with tools for sharing, for commenting, for interaction. The video output is compatible with all mobile devices, computer system. You can watch the video using any browser. And here we have hundreds of videos available today from all around the world, not from Egypt.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you very much.
Excellent.
Thanks. Currently I have around 6,000 subscribers from all around the world. 6,000 active subscribers or users in presentation tube. Today I have around 600 videos, quality assured, reviewed, and passed by volunteer reviewers. So that's the numbers.
Good. Next question.
How do you deal with copyright? Who owns and who earns from the presentations that are online?
Yeah, very interesting. I didn't tell you that all videos submitted, uploaded via presentation tube are uploaded directly to YouTube. So uploading videos and watching videos, all of this done via our YouTube channel. So using API, our YouTube API. The user, as mentioned in the website, has all the rights for his own video as soon as he or she submits the video, plus other details related to Google and YouTube copyrights. So all videos uploaded to presentation channel, as mentioned or stated in the website, the user has the right to remove, edit, share the video. However, presentation tube also has the right to share the presentations or to share it with other students or teachers. So
Thank you. Good. So the last one, that's fine. Same question. Anybody from the youth? Great. And from the general audience? This is what happens when you have a very clear presentation.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much, Egypt. Wonderful presentation. And I think that you can see why it's so difficult to judge the World Summit Awards. We've had such an impressive set of presentations. I think that for those of you who are actively engaging and developing and creating, you've got great ideas from these wonderful producers. I want to thank all of you for an excellent session. And now we'll be moving upstairs. Nora, do you have an announcement? There's a reward after the business cafe. Then you get a wonderful dinner by the...
So the idea is that people are coming inside. I will direct them towards your tables. And then there will be about 10 minutes and we will take 3 rounds. And people will switch clockwise. Okay? Is that clear?
Where's my coffee?
Okay, I can see that Nikki Ernst is here. Where's Nikki? Yes, I can see that George Sarkov is here. I can see that Ralph Simon is here. Anne Montaigne is here. Anand is here. Is Mikhail here? It's not. Then we have Madhan Rao. Then we have Todd Ashton here. Govindan, can you take the table over there, please? Okay. Janine, can you take this table over there?
I'm happy to take this table over here.
Okay, over there, an empty one. Yes, you will, okay. So can I ask everybody to move in and let other people come in? So as you enter the room, winners and participants, you can choose one of the experts whom we have here. On my left side, there's George Sarkov in Bulgaria. Here's Adam Montaigne, who is a professor at the Danish University and is the European winner in the year 2004. Then there's Nikki Ernst, who is the promoter of TEDx in Austria. Then there's Wittmann Hund, the president of the Internet Professional Association in Hong Kong. Then I see there Govind Nair, who is an expert on everything which you want to know about digital things in the world. Then you have Madhan Rao, who is an expert on everything which has to do with mobile. Then I see here in front of me Kit Panan, who is here from Estonia. He was general manager of Skype. Anybody want to know what Skype is? Ask him. Then to the right in the front, you can join Dorothy Gordon. Anybody who needs a strong opinion on the development of free software and Creative Commons licenses, talk to her. Then Ralph Simon is waiting here for you to take your opportunity and talk to him.
And we somehow managed to look at the school and also ideas but before this happens, before producing the robot, you have to understand why you want to do it in the first place.
Third year. So you have already developed some coding. You have did some coding. Have you found when you now do your studies, have you found yet which area you like most?
or something.
Because you have 3 more minutes, and then I will...
How many minutes?
3 more minutes.
So we are moving.
Yeah.
Our platform, and then to know how they can better provide voice for those in their society that are not giving voice. And on behalf of the needs
in terms of admission, like the university, it's also a non-comprehensive government solution. So we can submit our admissions. We have to go there for testing. And who thinks that technology is more than 50%?
And
also, that's amazing. Because like we work with NGOs and it's free.
To publish like it's your own publication, and then market it to everybody, because it's all about eyeballs, not whether they have money, whether they come and see the pages. But in the US there are people, and in Europe, and like whether YouTube has advertising in your language, but they might find a way to put English advertising next to this because much of your audience speaks at least English.
Not by the experts.
Thank you so much.
You stay, and the participants. Just finish, please. Everyone is finished. Madam Rao, Managal Hashash, Todd Ashton, Herman von Rothschild, Felix Lee, the Ralph Simon, Shalene Warner, and Govindan Nair, and David Sheldon. Now this warm-up session was a session which gives you an opportunity to know to whom to talk to later on tonight. We will meet at the Water's Edge restaurant.